when the Las Vegas police finally made the Tupac files public today. A widely shared tweet stated, "Will anyone bring up how Snoop Dogg could have prevented Tupac's death? Given that the Tupac files were disclosed today after 20 years, it is distressing that these fresh data are being made public. Tupac should still be alive. Snoop Dogg could have prevented it, according to Foxy and Love."
I always felt when Pac died, it was because Snoop could have stopped that whole thing. I mean, because like I said, Snoop was a Crip. Pac offended some Crips. Doing some game, some dumb, really. It was a whole, set off a whole chain of events. You know, in LA don't get mad, they get even. So, you want a real Pac story? That's my Pac story. If Pac would be alive today, if he had stayed allies with Snoop and not cross Snoop.
Suge Knight. Snoop Dogg was able to link Tupac's death, according to the most recent police file. Detective Russell Wohl believed Suge Knight orchestrated Tupac's death to prevent him from leaving the label. Then, to confuse the investigators, he set up the rival Crips. This begs the question of which well-known Cry Gang member Suge Knight would choose to blame for Tupac's death. Snoop Dogg is the most well-known person on the planet. Finding out that he was meant to be in the BMW with Tupac the night of his untimely death makes his file extremely fascinating.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car. With
Snoop Dogg revealed in another interview that the cops were able to locate that he believed Tupac detested him 2 days prior to his death.
I say a week before we was best of friends. 2 days before I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with him. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with this. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. There's video footage of all of us hanging out.
With the impression that Tupac no longer liked him. According to Snoop Dogg, he did not board the BMW. Last-minute modifications, he simply chose not to go. This was probably brought on by a fight that Snoop Dogg got into on a private jet with Tupac and Suge Knight.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I liked their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
Fact that all of this occurred within 72 hours of Tupac's death raised serious suspicions among the police. Snoop was highly tapped into the streets 20 years ago. According to some theories, Snoop may have had a tip that Tupac would be the target that evening and stayed away from. Others think he received knowledge that Tupac was fed after he got inside the car. An officer would disclose that Tupac was an industry plant whose duty it was to put an end to the rivalry between Snoop Dogg's team and the Blue Street team.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, He's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
This is where it becomes even more bizarre. Though, it is clear from the study of these additional data that this was a hit in the rap industry. According to the report, Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's passing after being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing. Diddy, Snoop Dogg, and Suge Knight were all involved in the cribs, as the authorities observed, attempting to blame Tupac's death. However, they also pointed out that Tupac was pictured with Sarah Chapman, Sean Diddy Combs' baby mom, on November 18, 1995. Diddy has stated publicly that Sarah was his ideal partner. Diddy did not like it when she started dating Tupac. This led to his initial attempt to deal with.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen or that's the only thing that made this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in A Vision. I only got shot once because they found the bug. The police found him, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
If his initial attempt didn't work, he would try again. It was revealed in the Diddy trial that a former LAPD officer alleges Diddy paid $1 million to deal with Tupac, when court documents showed that Diddy had hired Keffe D to acquire Tupac. Suge responded by having Big E dealt with. After committing the crime, he was allowed to roam around for 20 years, but the police eventually detained him and questioned him. Throughout this interrogation, he was unaware that he was being videotaped. When he tried to leave early, he actually admitted that Diddy was the mastermind behind the crime.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
According to the hired criminal, QVD, everything was Diddy's wish. He added that it was far simpler than he had anticipated. A writer would take notice of this. Historian Jeff is his name. Perlman. In his well-known biography of Tupac, he asserted that the rapper was not as tough as he seemed. He was merely acting when he said that he was incapable of fighting and that he had no idea how to handle a gun.
Because he died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted.
As a result of Diddy being exposed as the main culprit, all of this became viral, and 50 Cent would respond on stage.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? You saw that clip? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me with what I'm saying. I said crazy. No reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
Everyone is saying Snoop Dogg was also involved because Diddy is a member of the same street squad as him. If Diddy had been involved, he would have known that this crime was being committed. Fans would therefore demand more verifiable proof that Diddy was engaged. At this point, the Breakfast Club confronted Diddy about being responsible for Tupac in a widely shared viral video, and the situation became quite tense. However, Kai D would describe in detail how Tupac was taken out by Diddy's wish on the final 3 pages of the new police file, with Snoop Dogg's involvement being highly suspicious. It was written on September 7, 1996, while Tupac and Suge Knight, the head of his record company, were in Las Vegas. The two were heading to the MGM Grand to witness a Mike Tyson battle when they noticed an op in the arena lobby. As they were leaving the venue,
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Who ran into Tupac, while seated in the arena foyer, was also a member of the Blue Street team, as the DVD would later disclose. Once more, the fight between Tupac, Suge, and the operations would be broken up by someone with ties to Snoop Dogg security. At approximately 11 p.m., Tupac and Suge had to return to their hotel to change before heading to a club to party. As they would exit the parking lot and head down the Las Vegas Strip, the two would get into the black BMW. They were playing loud music as they drove down. Everybody on the street would notice them as their windows rolled down, but then they would run a red light. With nowhere to go, were stopped. One of Keefe D's cars would pull up directly next to Tupac.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
Tupac would tragically die at this same moment. The incident would also have an impact on Suge Knight. Keefe D's car, meanwhile, drove off from the scene. For 20 years, however, the incident's aftermath remained a mystery. Before Keefe D started giving public interviews, the police had no idea who was involved. Initially, he would interview DJ Vlad, self-snitching at its best. He would describe how he actually found Tupac pulling up on him while he was committing the crime.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Okay.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac?
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
As if that weren't awful enough, Keefe D would go on to say that everything happened so quickly because Tupac was spotted grabbing for his own gun, which prompted the man seated behind him in their car to take out his own and perform the act first.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what I
started at Tupac and Suge.
Your memory? The police were unable to solve this case for 20 years. The police didn't arrest him right away because PVD arrived in a week and solved the entire crime for them. He agreed to continue doing interviews when they asked him to. In one interview, the interviewer expressed doubt about his role. Therefore, on the night of the crime, Kai-D would share a police questioning that had never been seen before. He was literally released by the cops.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you?
Yeah.
He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in
of
the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their
car? I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window.
In the course of their investigation, the police also discovered another interview in which Keffe D expressed his genuine feelings in response to Tupac's death.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. You know, I really do, man. 'Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happen. Probably God. I feel they should, you know, that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
This, however, is what makes the Tupac passing case so peculiar. They may have decided not to pursue Tupac's death further because of a portion in the files that had evidence suggesting he might still be alive. There is a rapper named Trey, just like in 2010. In the past, Trey and Tupac had a strong friendship, and they even collaborated on a couple CDs. This is where it becomes strange though. The videographer neglected to end the tape after Trey's interview. When the interviewer asks him about Tupac, as you can hear in the video, he sets his camera on the ground and answers, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows.
Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man. We
good.
A week later, a video purportedly showing Tupac lounging in a Cuban parking lot would be posted on a news website.
That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
Suge Knight's repeated statements revealing Tupac's survival were what really confused the cops. One interview in particular made it seem quite plausible. He would disclose that Tupac was doing well in the hospital prior to his death, saying, quote, "Tupac and I were joking and laughing when I left that hospital. How someone can go from performing so well to performing poorly is beyond me."
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
It's strange, though, because Tupac was reportedly in a deep sleep when he got to the hospital. So, if Tupac was sleeping, how could he and Suge be laughing? Nothing seems to add up. But 10 years later, in an interview in 2008, Suge Knight stated the same thing. Tupac was still alive.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
However, Suge nearly died in a nightclub when a man fired a gun 6 times in his direction just 2 weeks after he revealed that information in that interview. Suge Knight was reluctant to provide any information to the police. He realized right away that he was probably because he had mentioned Tupac. The fact that Suge Knight's son, Suge Jr., made the identical error is even worse. Suge Jr. claimed Tupac Jr. claimed on Instagram in 2018 that Tupac was still alive and residing in Malaysia. Following its posting by Suge Jr. after that, he shared another image on Instagram that showed a text exchange in which someone commented, "You have said too much. Now is the time for you to leave." Sharing many images of Tupac with contemporary celebs in a fear, in case someone was after him, he wanted the information out there. The caption for the picture of Tupac and Beyonce said, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." However, do you think it was a hit in the rap industry? Or do you think Tupac is still alive? Who do you think is in charge? Leave a comment below. Finally, if you like Tupac, leave a like.